What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we know this Saturday marks a very historic day in the sport of boxing in one of the glamour divisions, that being the lightweight division, as undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney. 27 wins, no loss and no draw. 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He will be taking on undefeated, newly crowned, unified lightweight world champion Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr., who is 20 wins, no loss and no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. With that said, they held the press conference this past week. Obviously, this is fight week. The fight is scheduled to take place Saturday, June 4th here in the United States. It'll be June 5th in Australia because they're a day ahead. With that said, they held the press conference, and we know that father, trainer, manager, and CEO Bill Haney of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, and trainer and father of Devin Haney will not be able to make the trip. Now, George Kambosos Jr., because of a prior conviction back in 1992, 30 years ago, okay? And now he was promised that he would be allowed to come to Australia for this fight for business reasons, for a visa, okay? Obviously, it's for business. There's been past athletes and people that have been able to go into Australia with convictions. With that said, George Kambosos Jr. continues to not tell the truth, okay, about things that are taking place with himself, with this fight, and overall. So George Kambosos Jr., he stated that he was trying to attempt to help Bill Haney to make his way to Australia for this fight, right? So he stated that he's doing everything in his power to assure that Bill Haney can make the trip, okay, and be in the corner of Devin Haney, right? Well, Bill Haney, we know, is struggling to make the trip, obviously, right? And it don't look promising that he's going to make the trip, okay? It just don't look like Bill Haney is going to be able to make the trip, okay? So, with that said, George Kambosos Jr., now, Bill Haney is not, again, like I said, he's not convinced that he's going to be able to make the trip. So, with that said, Bill Haney has opted to have a video conference, a video appearance, okay, where a virtual training. He'll be virtually training Devin Haney, okay, with headphones on and a monitor, okay, that Devin Haney can see and Bill Haney can speak to him, right? That has been denied by George Kambosos and his team. They're disputing that ESPN, with this new technology, create and allow Bill Haney to be there virtually in conversation with Devin Haney. So he can't physically be in the corner. Now, again, George Kambosos Jr. and his team, they stated that they want it to be equal playing field. They want Devin Haney to have no excuses. Now, remember, there's plenty of things that George Kambosos has contradicted himself. One in which George Kambosos, before the fight was announced, he sat and he stated that he wants no rematch clause because it's not going to be necessary, because he's just simply going to beat Devin Haney, take his belt, and don't do away with it, and he wants to move on to bigger and better things. This is what George Kambosos stated. Then 2 days later, the fight's officially announced with a rematch clause, immediate rematch clause in Australia. George Kambosos just stated that they want Devin Haney to be on an equal playing field. They don't want him to have any excuses, so they want to accommodate him as much as possible. And now Bill Haney is saying they know he's not going to physically be allowed to attend the fight. And now George Kambosos Jr. team is contesting Bill Haney virtually being in attendance, a monitor with headphones. What advantage can Bill Haney give George Kambosos Jr.? I mean, Devin Haney over George Kambosos Jr. virtually being on the call. what can he give him? What advantages does that afford Devin Haney? None. He's not physically there. It'd probably be a disadvantage because this has never been done before. So is there going to be any audio issues? The crowd is going to be screaming. You're talking about 50,000 people in Australia in attendance screaming. Is Bill Haney going to be able to hear? Is Devin Haney going to be able to hear him? So if anything, it'd probably be a distraction and a disadvantage to Bill Haney more so than an advantage over George Kambosos Jr. Then George Kambosos Jr., he stated this. This is what George Kambosos had to say regarding Devin Haney at the press conference. Remember, he stated that Devin Haney is a turncoat, right? Devin Haney should be supporting his fellow countrymen, and he's not supporting his fellow countrymen, and that makes him in return, okay, a turncoat, right? He said that he's doing everything in his power to go against his fellow countrymen. This is what George Kambosos had to say, right? He said he's doing everything in his power to go against his fellow countrymen, and he's talking about when he himself was preparing for his fight with former unified lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Teofimo Lopez, okay? So George Kambosos, he said that Devin Haney, right, went against his countrymen, and how dare he? And then George Kambosos, he states that me, myself, I would lay it all down on the line for my country and my countrymen. I would never go against my country and my countrymen, right? Let's listen to what he had to say regarding Devin Haney.
I will tell you why. Because in the Teofimo Lopez fight against a foreigner, his own countryman, he was messaging me, telling me.
So you heard what he said. He said, the Teofimo Lopez fight, Devin Haney was messaging me against his own countrymen, right? Now, keep in mind, the reason Devin Haney was doing so because Devin Haney had been aggressively pursuing and actively pursuing a fight with Teofimo Lopez for undisputed, okay? That's another thing. Remember, George Kambosos, he publicly stated that he knew he had to beat Devin Haney for Devin Haney's belt to officially become undisputed. And then he changed all his status on all his social media to undisputed. But listen to what he had to say.
Woman, this guy's a rat. I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Because in the Teofimo Lopez fight against a foreigner, his own countryman, he was messaging me, telling me all the details, every bit. Teo at the hookah lounge, Teo having problems with his wife. This is the kind of person. This is the kind of person. This is a rat. This is a rat. This is a snitch. This is an informant. And you know what? This is your countryman, your own countryman. You're going behind his back. So you know what? On Sunday, I'm gonna whip your ass.
So you heard what he said, right? This is your own countryman. You're going behind your own countryman's back, right? That's what he just said. Now let's listen to what he had to say regarding his countryman, Jeff Horn, when he helped prepare legendary 8th Division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, right? And he helped prepare Manny Pacquiao, who he stated was, right, his legend, his icon, right? Listen to what he had to say.
Sparring partners, Jose Ramirez and Ray Beltran. I was putting 5-5, and these guys are good fighters, former champions. Good fighters, former champions. And Freddie come over and he goes, you know, Manny's got the Jeff Horn fight. So yeah, I'm hearing about it. He goes, well, you're sparring.
He said, now, Freddie Roach, well-renowned Hall of Fame iconic trainer, came over to him and said, you know, Manny Pacquiao got the fight against your fellow countryman, Jeff Horn. Listen.
Sparring partners, how would you like to go against your countrymen and help Manny?
How would you like to go against your countrymen and help Manny Pacquiao prepare?
Prepare? I said, Freddie, I'm all in. And I know he's...
Freddie, I'm all in. Freddie, I'm all in. Watch.
My countryman, but this opportunity of a lifetime. Manny's my idol.
This is I know that's my countryman. Hold on. I know Jeff Horn is my countryman, but this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and Manny Pacquiao is my idol.
I'm all in. And I know he's my countryman, but this opportunity of a lifetime. Manny's my idol. You can't pass that up. So I had a fight a couple of weeks after the sparring session.
Uh-oh. What happened to the loyalty, staying 10 toes down, and then going on to say that you would lay it all down on the line for your countrymen? That's what he stated. I would never turn my back on my countrymen. See, so here's the thing. George Kambosos Jr. has proven to not be stable. He's not standing on his square, okay? He contradicts himself way too often, far too often. And here we have another example. So now we know that he's blocking Bill Haney, right? Now he stated that he talked to the government. He said he talked to the Prime Minister in Australia and asked them to have Bill Haney pardoned and give him a pass and allow him to come in the country. I think it's the polar opposite. I think you want every advantage possible. And so now if you're trying to block him from virtually helping David Haney in a corner, because we're talking about the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN, their reach and their technology is endless. So they're trying to give a virtual training for Bill Haney to be in the corner, and he's blocking that. But you mean to tell me he's on board with trying to petition to help Bill Haney get into the country? No. Once again, he's on display and getting revealed for who he truly is. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. This is fight week. You're going to have the build-up. The fight is Saturday, and I can't wait. Historic. There's never been an undisputed 4 major sanction belt Ring Magazine lineal world champion in the history of the sport of boxing at the glamour division and the lightweight division. So history will be in the making. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.